I want to talk about Amy Guyger. So, what is today? Today's Monday, and I pretty much this weekend basically got caught up on the trial. So, if you don't know who Amy Guyger is, she was a Dallas police officer that at the end of the night, one night was going home to her apartment, but mistakenly went to the wrong apartment, thought it was her apartment, and once she got to the door was actually open, which is kind of weird too. The door was open, so she's like, wow, why is my door open? She said she heard somebody in the inside, and when she, peep through the door, she can hear somebody and see somebody moving. So as a police officer, obviously, and she thinks somebody in her apartment, she pulls her gun and claims she told them, let me see your hands, let me see your hands. And long story short, she shot the guy. She shot the guy and he died. She shot him twice and she shot him in the heart. He died immediately. Come to find out, CPR, nothing was going to save him. The shots killed him immediately. So the case is the fact that she's claiming self-defense, saying that she thought it was her apartment. She thought she was at her apartment. She thought it was like a burglar or somebody was in there. And so she was trying to, I guess, protect herself. So that's what the case is about. So I saw all the evidence. It's been 5 or 6 days of the trial. I just got done listening to the closing arguments of the defense attorney, and I just had to turn it off. It's like I can't even listen to him anymore. How can they even try to get this lady off of this? I understand you might have thought it was your apartment, okay, but it doesn't make it okay. Like, you're claiming self-defense. Self-defense from what? You were in this man's apartment. They're saying that it was reasonable because she thought it was her apartment, and for that reason she acted reasonably under the circumstances of her thought process. But my thing is, let's go through the process of an apartment complex. So my apartment complex, it's only one door. When I come through my front door, I'm in my apartment. But she live in them type of apartments where it's a building with a parking garage. So you gotta go, and she live on the 3rd floor apparently. So you gotta go through the parking garage, get to your level, then go to the elevator, walk down the hall, do all this, then you at your apartment, right? So first of all, come to find out, she live on the 3rd floor. She had actually parked on the 4th floor and did her little process of going, to the door that she normally would go to, but in this case, she was on the wrong floor, so it wasn't her apartment. But my thing is, you are a police officer. She's been a police for 5 years now. It is no way. Yes, I've accidentally maybe approached the wrong door, because they all look the same, right? Maybe I've approached the wrong door. I've even approached the wrong car at times, thinking, but I immediately, before I even put my hand on it, realize that it's not my car or it's not my house. I mean, it have a different vibe. You look at it, you say, that's not, like, when something is yours and when something is not yours. So for you to park all the way on the 4th floor, get out. They said she had her book bag, her little bulletproof vest, and a lunchbox. You parked on the 4th floor. You carry all this stuff through the hallway. You didn't notice that this wasn't your floor? Like, come on. I understand you tired, but that's not reasonable. I don't think there's no way she can get away with this, because that's not reasonable. Yes, I've made a mistake here or there, but you catch yourself. You don't go so far as to kill somebody. You can't just be like, oh, oops, I thought it was my apartment. No. So you carry all this stuff. You get to the door. It's open, and you did, so you don't even look at the number, because it was like 14, whatever. Yours is 13. Instead of backing up and looking around, because instead of, like, if your door is open, the first thing I would do is say, wait a minute, this can't be my door. You know what I'm saying? It's no way. If I got to my door and it was cracked open when I put my key in and it just, kind of went open, I'd have been like, hold on. I'll start looking around like, hold on, this can't be, I must be at the wrong place. Come to find out, the guy, he had a red doormat below his door. She doesn't have a red doormat. It was so many signs and clues that you missed, that you just ignored. and you shot and you really killed this guy, and then they trying to get her off of this? I don't think so. The reason I made a video is because I want to see what other people think. My personal opinion, it's no way that she can get away with this, period. Because the defense attorney, he basically said that the state has to prove that she something, I don't know what it is that the state have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. I guess that she did it intentionally. I guess that she didn't believe that she was being threatened. But I mean, it's like you put yourself in that situation. You didn't have to go in that apartment. If you would have just looked around for a second, you would have known that it wasn't your apartment. I mean, come on, you cannot kill somebody in their own home and then say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it, I thought this was my apartment. I mean, I understand the law and the rules of the law, but this one may have a precedent because this is ridiculous. I mean, there's no way. And I feel like if she was a regular person, she definitely would have been charged. But the fact that she was a police officer, somehow, like, she might actually get away with it, which she should be held to even a higher standard, because you're the police. I understand, like, if it's just me and I'm tired, like, I'm tired, I got kids, I'm working, yes, I'm tired. But you the police, you supposed to be above other people. You didn't had 2,000 hours of training to be able to look at stuff and do all this. You're supposed to be trained. And then the fact that you killed the guy, you couldn't have shot him in the leg. And that's another thing. They keep teaching the police to shoot people to kill them. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I'm trying to get some other people's opinions on this. But I personally, I mean, I'm not trying to put the lady under the jail, but she, at least a couple years. I mean, something. There's no way she can just walk away from this, because it was her mistake. This man, he was in his apartment minding his own business. Now, I would like to know why his door was open. That's what I want to know. Why? Like, it's almost like it was fate and it was like meant to happen, because of all the days for her to go to the wrong apartment and for this man door to be unlocked. But I sometimes leave my door unlocked too. I've woke up many mornings and looked and realized, like, oh wow, I didn't lock the door. You know what I'm saying? So that does happen. So that's not surprising. But what is surprising is the fact that you went through you parked in the wrong garage. Now, and this the other piece. Now I'm gonna link, because she testified. That's another thing. She testified on the stand as to what happened, right? The day that she was parking, she was actually on the phone with her supervisor, which she was actually having an affair with. The man was married. So I do feel like she was distracted, because that happens to me. If I'm on the phone but I'm also trying to do stuff, I'm driving, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'll look back and I be that made a mistake or did something, put something somewhere, and I'm like, well, dang. And you get distracted when you're on the phone. So I do feel that she was distracted, and rightfully so. You on the phone with a married man you didn't have no business talking to. They had a sexual relationship, that she admitted that. So she was in the wrong anyway, just out the gate. So I feel like it's almost like some type of karma that's just catching up with her, because it can happen. But to go so far as to kill somebody, if you never recognize this is not your apartment, like, come on. Let me go through it again. You parked on the wrong floor. You didn't recognize that. You went into the building. You still didn't recognize anything. You got to the door. You just assumed it was your door. You still didn't realize that it wasn't your apartment. When you saw the door open, then you went in. You went in the apartment and you didn't notice this wasn't your in, and you still didn't know this wasn't your apartment. They tried to have this expert witness testify of unintentional blindness, talking about this. When she opened up the door, she seen the guy, but it was like dark because all his lights was off. He was watching TV because it was late. And then all she saw was this silhouette of a guy, and that's all she saw, so she couldn't see nothing else. So you didn't notice that wasn't your couch, and that wasn't your kitchen, or that wasn't your rug. Like, come on, lady. Come on. I mean, that deserves some time. I mean, you just cannot be that oblivious. And you know what I'm saying? And if she would at least listen to the guy, she didn't even get this man a second. Now, another thing, she's white, he's black. Some people are trying to say it was racial. I don't think it was racial necessarily. Maybe the fact of her shooting him as soon as she see a black and she's like, oh my God, I'm scared, let me shoot him. Maybe. But she made so many mistakes even to even get her to that point, it's ridiculous. It just doesn't make sense. Now, okay, I give it to you. You get into the apartment. That's when it should have clicked. She said it didn't click until she killed him, and then that's when she started looking around like, oh, wait a minute. Damn, where am I even at? This not even my apartment. Like, lady, don't you think you should have figured that out before you took your gun out? And that's another thing. You so quick, these police, so quick to take their guns out. That's what the prosecutor said. He said, you know what? Instead of you going in, why didn't you back off? Why didn't you call for backup? Why didn't you just think for a second? She said, this is an apartment. She said, he said, how you know the maintenance man, or you know what I'm saying? It's not your house. This is an apartment. It could have been anybody. You know, instead of you taking a second to even try to figure, and the man didn't have a gun. So why are you shooting him? He did not pose any threat to you. She claimed that he was walking toward her saying, hey, hey, hey. That's not a reasonable enough reason for you to pull your gun out and shoot and kill somebody. He didn't have a gun. He didn't have a knife. He you know what I'm saying? If anything, of course he was walking towards you saying, hey, hey, because you in his apartment. Come on. I mean, this is something. This really is. And I'm so glad I was able to look at the evidence. I'm so glad she got on the stand, because it just buried her. She would have been better off not even getting up there, because it just make her look even more dumb. How dumb do you have to be to go all the way into somebody else's apartment, shoot and kill them, and then call 911 and say, I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. She was like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I thought this was my apartment. I thought this was my apartment. But you the police. You the police. You're not just some regular person. You the police. I thought this was my apartment. I thought this was my apartment. I thought this was my apartment. I thought this was my... Like, girl, no, it doesn't matter. You cannot make those type of mistakes and just get away with it because you thought it was your apartment. So that's how I feel about the case. Like I said, I just got done watching the defense closing arguments. I did not see the prosecuting closing arguments, which I wish I would have seen. Because he was really good. I mean, he had some good points. Like I said, he said you had options. You didn't have to go in there. You didn't have to. You know, it's like, calm down. You got your 5-pound backpack, your lunchbox, your vest, and all you reaching for is your gun. Like, can you just wait a second? People so quick to kill people, and it's just not right. Especially when it's the police. They're so quick to pull a gun out. It just doesn't make any sense. And then it's another thing. It's like, he wasn't, this is what she said, I thought he was going to kill me. How was he going to kill you if he didn't even have a gun? All you had to do was run out the apartment. I mean, damn it, you in an apartment. You're not in the woods by yourself. You in a goddamn apartment building. All you have to do is knock on somebody's door. What, are you going to kill everybody? I mean, come on. I just thought about that. Like seriously. Where did you think you was at? That's the problem. The police be so, I really think they be traumatized. They be having PTSD. It's not just people in the army. I think a lot of the police have PTSD. She is suffering from PTSD because there is no reason you thought it was necessary to pull your gun out and kill this man, even if he was in your apartment. It's different when you in a house. It's because it's a house and there's nobody else in there. And you know what I'm saying? So you gotta run across the street, or you gotta, you know, it's a little bit more scary. But you're in an apartment building. If you scream loud enough, people gonna hear it. So why did you feel like it was that serious? Ain't no, who robs apartments in buildings? Now, if your apartment is the kind like where mine were, like the front door is, as soon as I go out my front door, I'm outside. I don't have to go through no building, none of that. Now, yeah, somebody might break into something like this, but who's gonna go into a building and then break into an apartment, and then you the police? So why would they break into your apartment anyway? Like, okay, I don't want to keep dragging this out, but I cannot wait to hear the verdict on this. I really do feel bad for her because I do feel like it was a mistake. I do think she just did not pay attention. I think she was that dumb. I really do. But it's just like, that doesn't make it okay. It doesn't. It's not fair. This guy that she killed was a nice man. He was in the choir at church. The whole nine. He didn't deserve it. And the shot that went through his heart killed him immediately. There was nothing nobody could have done, because when she did call 911, the police got there in 2 minutes, but they still couldn't save him because of the shot that she